God's appointed feasts. Dear friends, in today's story, we will go through the life of Aaron and his sons, who were appointed as priests by God. As per God's command, Moses assembled the congregation at the entrance of the tent of meeting, along with Aaron and his sons. And in the sight of all the people, he dressed Aaron and his sons in priestly robes. Then Moses took the anointing oil and anointed the tabernacle and all that is in it, and consecrated them. And he poured some of the anointing oil on Aaron's head, and anointed and consecrated him. Then Moses burned offerings and sacrifices on the altar as per God's command. Then Moses took some of the anointing oil and some of the blood that was on the altar, and sprinkled it on Aaron and his sons and their garments. So he consecrated Aaron, his sons, and their garments. Then Aaron lifted up his hands towards the people and blessed them. And the glory of the Lord appeared to all the people. And when all the people saw it, they shouted and fell on their faces. Through all these commandments, God showed Israel His holiness and how to enter His presence. Till now, the sin of disobedience, which started in the Garden of Eden, did not leave man. In the Garden of Eden, when God commanded them not to eat of the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, they sinned by eating the fruit. But here, Aaron's own sons Nadab and Abihu offered unauthorized fire before the Lord, which he had not commanded them. And fire came out from before the Lord and consumed them, and they died before the Lord. Aaron was not to come into the most holy place at any time, because God's presence was on the mercy seat. God also commanded that he should put incense on the fire before the Lord, that the cloud of the incense may cover the mercy seat, so that he does not die. In this book, apart from the commandments given to the Levites concerning the tabernacle, there are various laws that the Israelites and the sojourners among them must follow. This contains a detailed description of laws such as the cleanliness of the body, the cleanliness of the houses that they live in, and which food they can and cannot eat. An important one among them is that they should not eat blood, for the life of an animal is in the blood. This commandment was not given only to the Israelites, but also to the sojourners living there and to us to obey. One among the commandments that God gave Moses was that the Israelites whom God chose to be His special people must set themselves apart from others. God commanded them not to follow the practices they saw in Egypt, where they lived as sojourners for 430 years, and they were not to follow the practices of the Canaanites, into whose land God was bringing them. Instead, they were to keep the decrees and laws of the Lord their God and live by them. After hearing all this, do you feel that God gave them so many instructions to obey and made their life boring? Don't we always find it difficult to obey laws? Doesn't the God who created man know how to make a man happy? He definitely knows, because in His presence there is fullness of joy. So God appointed feasts for them to commemorate. We always find happiness in feasts, right? A few of them were the Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the Feast of First Fruits, and the Feast of Booths. In all the feasts that God asked the Israelites to commemorate, there was a shadow of Jesus. During creation, God rested on the seventh day after completing all His work in 6 days. Similarly, God gave the Israelites a Sabbath as a rest. Did the Israelites who got the Sabbath get a complete rest in their lives? We will see that in the next story. God bless you.